Alright guys, it's been a few days since I received my Gransfus Brooks American felling axe, and my other package has finally arrived. Unfortunately I couldn't wait to open it, so I've already opened it and put a lanyard on it. But here we have the Victorinox Evowood 17. And it's a little UK legal pocket knife. And before I show you this one, I'll show you my other two UK legal pocket knives. So I have this one, which is a little fishing knife that I went and bought with my dad when I was 11 or 12. And it's just a single blade, right around 3 inches. And I patinaed it with vinegar. And yeah, it's quite a nice knife. It's not a very expensive knife or a good quality knife, but I like it, and it's got the sort of sentimental value of going into a shop on holiday when I was young and buying it with my dad. So that's pretty cool. And then my other one is the Bushcraft store's UK legal bushcrafting folder with a black micarta handle, and this is a lovely knife. But yeah, it's a very nice knife. If I have one complaint, it's that I get a slight bit of blade play with this. I've tried to tighten it up, but they've sanded these flush, meaning if I try and tighten it too much they stick up and then irritate your hand and create hot spots. So my only complaint is the slight bit of vertical blade play, and it's very, very minute. Most people probably wouldn't even notice it, but yeah, because I'm used to fixed blades for cutting wood, I feel it a little bit. But it is very, very minimal. I'm sure most of them don't have that, and it's a brilliant knife. It's going to last forever. Very, very strong. But the reason I got my Swiss Army knife here is because I lost my other one. I had a little red Swiss Army knife that was my first ever pocket knife. I got it when I was 10, I think, for my birthday, and unfortunately it's gone missing. So I couldn't have all my tools and not own a Victorinox Swiss Army knife. And I always used to love my Swiss Army knife. I carved my very first bow drill set with that knife last year, before I had a Mora and other bushcraft knives. I literally just did it with a Swiss Army knife to begin with. So once I'd lost that, I couldn't not have a Victorinox. So I had to invest, and this is a slightly more expensive model than I had before. Got a knife, and I chose this because I like the walnut scales. I also like the fact that it has a saw, and it's got all the other Victorinox useful items like screwdrivers, bottle openers, and scissors. I like scissors on a multi-tool. This is actually my only multi-tool now that I've lost my other Swiss Army knife. I don't own a Leatherman or any other multi-tool, just literally this and my other knives. But it should be quite useful. The blade is pretty thin. It's about the same thickness as the blade I had on my other Swiss Army knife. We'll get it out and try it later. I'm sure it'll be fine because I don't put these under heavy tasks. If I'm going to have to cut a stem, I'll beaver chew my way around rather than just try and go straight through. I've already tested the scissors, they work well. And the bottle opener and stuff like that, I've used those hundreds of times before on other multi-tools and other Victorinoxes that I've tried. So no need to test those. I just want to try out its sort of capabilities with the saw and the knife. Nice. For a very, very small saw, it's less than 3 inches. It's pretty hungry, I quite like that. It's very good for notching, for bow drills, and similar tasks where a saw comes in handy. There's no blade play whatsoever, so that's good. I'm conscious that it's a slip joint with a very thin blade, and probably doesn't have the strongest spring in it, being just a Victorinox, which is why I'm not pushing it through the wood really hard. Okay, it's pretty good. You have to take it slow, and keep in mind that I'm using that, not that, because obviously this is going to be less strong than this, so I have to keep in mind that I'm using a tiny slip joint folder with a very, very thin blade stock, because if I was to go chewing through the wood like I do with a survival or bushcraft knife, I'd end up breaking it. It's that simple. So, okay guys, to see if my Swiss Army knife is up to the sort of task that I use my carry knives when I'm hiking for cutting down stems and branches and things, I thought I'd put it through a little test. And I've built a figure 4 deadfall trap only using the Swiss Army knife, the Victorinox Evowood 17. So we'll give it a test. But just to demonstrate that it works, if this stick is a mouse or something or other, if I was doing this for real, I'd have screened off the sides so the bait was only taken from the front. I'd use a longer bait stick that was more horizontal and fine-tuned to be very, very sensitive. But you can still see that with my Swiss Army knife, it has worked. It is an effective deadfall trap, as I'll demonstrate again.